Hi folks, I just thought I should do a reminder about the dog case, I suppose. It's been on my mind since the court today. Yeah, well, it's just on my mind now, and what was just going through my mind was, before I got the charge details, as in what the charges were, I didn't know what on earth would be the charge, so whether I'd be guilty or not guilty. Because if the charge was that I threw a dog down the stairs, okay, I didn't actually throw a dog down the stairs, but it looked like it, and because it looked like it, that would be a difficult one, to prove that I didn't, because I can't. The video footage doesn't show that, and because it shows that I'm pretending to be angry, even though to other people it shows that I was angry, because if they want to see that I was rather than that I was pretending, then that's pretty convincing. And then you see the video, it looks like I threw a dog down the stairs, because it looks like everything was in anger, even though it wasn't. But when the charge details came, I was very confused. My understanding, I spent a lot of time speaking to God about it, but my understanding was, do they think there's any way, shape or form they can win this? How on earth do they think they can win this? Because when the charge was talking about suffering, I caused suffering, but then it said I should have known that what I did could have caused suffering. Well, that's just stupid. Any decent lawyer would chuck that bit of the charge out straight away and say, no, come on. Don't be stupid. When we do things, we don't do things, we're not thinking, are we? We're just doing. So when you say you should have known, no, that's complete bull. When you're doing things, you're just doing it. Afterwards, you think, oh, I knew better. But while you're doing it, you're not thinking that, are you? There's many, many, many things that we do that we just, do. We make mistakes in life. We do things, and So, with regards to causing suffering, let's say the images, the video looked bad. Sounded bad because I was basically speaking quite aggressively to the dogs. Well, because as I said, what I was trying to do was trying to growl at them because they'd been in the car. I called them out the car. They wouldn't come out the car. I called them out the car still. They wouldn't. So for about 3 or 4 minutes, I was calling them from the car to come out the car. They wouldn't. I said, right, okay. If I'm going to carry you back from the car, you're not going out later. Simple as that. So as I was coming, right, that's it. You've been told. I carried you out the car. You are not going out later. How many times when I call you, you've got to come? That sounds slightly aggressive. Yes. That was the point. Growling. I'm not a good growler. So you just say it in a way that you're trying to get across to the dog that you are not happy with the way that dog has behaved. Now, most people say, oh, but they can't understand. No, they can. They can understand enough. If I've been calling that dog from the car, they know what I'm calling that dog to do to come back. I'm calling that dog to me, they know what they should be doing. They should be coming. So if I say, excuse me, bad, when I call, you come. They know what that means. They know what that means. They understand it. Plus also that they know what they've just been doing. They know that I'm snarling and growling at them. They know why I'm snarling and growling at them. They understand that. Now, from my point of view, I'm looking at it from the point of view, thinking, well, okay, they're talking about causing suffering. Now, I know dogs. I certainly know these dogs. Anyone who has a dog understands that with that dog, if you do anything that causes that dog suffering, the thing they do immediately is let you know. Immediately. Because their understanding is, I don't like this, I want this to stop. So I'm going to yell, I'm going to whelp, I'm going to yelp or whelp, yelp. I'm going to cry. I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to do to let this person know this is not good. I'm not happy with this. This is stressing me out or whatever. Was any of that evident in the video at all? No. No. Not at any point in time. So therefore, there was no suffering. Simple. Because, border collies are not thick. They're intelligent dogs. And I say all dogs are intelligent enough. When I met with the person in charge of the solicitors, Mr. Lockie, well, the ones that I go to, James McKay, Mr. Lockie said at one time he picked his dog up but picked it up wrong and it yelped immediately. Yeah, they do. And his dog isn't a collie. His dog isn't that intelligent. So, yeah, of course, they would do that, yes. So, a half-decent lawyer, yeah, I know without a shadow of a doubt. If I'd been paying, I was standing next to a bloke today who paid £4,000 for his lawyer. If I'd have had £4,000, I would have paid that. I'd have gone to someone and I would have paid that sort of money. I wouldn't have gone legal aid. The only reason why I went legal aid is because I didn't have any money. But I got a legal aid lawyer who was acting like a deer in the headlights. That's what I got. Well, basically, I've just understood also that my legal team didn't even tell me what I now know, that if I pled not guilty, the trial wouldn't be on that day. The reason I pled guilty, well, one reason, is because that lawyer was looking absolutely useless. And I thought, if the trial is now, I'm knackered because of him. And also, the SSPCA people were there on that day. So that's another reason I thought the trial would be on that day. If I'd known it wouldn't be on that day, I would have said not guilty. But I didn't know the situation because I've never been in front of a sheriff system. And if you haven't, you wouldn't necessarily understand it. It's up to your legal team to explain the situation to you. That if you, because I was telling them I'm going to plead not guilty, they should have said, okay, if you insist on pleading not guilty, then you will plea, and then, you'll be told to come back at a certain time, and then we will present the case. Yeah, they didn't tell me any of that. They were quite useless. James McKay, lawyers. Yeah, I mean, if they failed me, how many other people are they failing? Just to give the basic information. Yeah, it's very, very basic information. I say I would never have pleaded guilty if I'd have realised the trial wouldn't be on that day. I thought it would be on that day. Now I know it won't, because now I know they don't do it that way. Generally speaking, they don't do it that way. They call people back, and if you plead guilty on that day, then they can make a decision of what's going to happen. Yeah. Yeah. But basically, my lawyer was telling me, if I say not guilty, I can't speak at all. So I can't say anything about the neighbours or anything like that. Which I think is a lie. How can that be true? Because obviously, if you say not guilty, you have to say what was happening at that time that made you stressed out. So they were lying to me, I think, about that. So, yeah. It is what it is. I'm now where I am, so it's like, yeah. But I just realised that just now. And actually, this video was finished so early, I just haven't put it online yet. So I had to go back and edit it and put this bit in because it's such an important part. That, yeah, had I realised it wouldn't be on that day, the trial, I would have pleaded not guilty. I would never have pleaded guilty. Because part of the reason I pleaded guilty is because the lawyer was acting like he was a deer in the headlights. And how could you have someone like that who's got no confidence in himself by the way he's acting? And the way he's acting is, if you plead not guilty, you're going to be found guilty on all 4 counts. That's your solicitor telling you. And if you think he's the one representing you on that day, and the trial will be on that day, you're knackered. So, yeah, that wasn't good. Not at all. So there you go. Yeah, that's what it was. As I said, this was an edited bit, added on later, after the video was finished. But yeah, and with the prosecution in their case, indeed. There was so much about basically the prosecution's case that was so easy. I mean, if I'd have been allowed to represent myself and speak, I could have basically trashed the vets who commented. Both of their statements I would have got thrown out because both of their statements were absolute nonsense. They've basically been taken out of a book, and the book was talking about dogs that are older, adult dogs. This dog wasn't adult; she was a junior. So just a bit older than a puppy sort of stage. So yeah, so therefore you can't have those comments when those comments are meant for a dog that's different. A different age dog, of course, different. So anyway, I mean, as I say, my understanding when I saw that was like, how? If I have a lawyer that's even slightly competent, their case falls apart so quickly. Why are they doing this? Because if their case falls apart so quickly, then I'm going to ask for a crap load of compensation, which they're going to have to pay. Because I want to spank these people. To stop them from doing this sort of stuff, because it's not good. But then, as I say, on the day that I went in, that was my understanding going in for the day of plea, and then Father said things aren't going to work out the way you wanted today, and I was faced with Mr. Tom acting like a deer in the headlights as my solicitor. And it's like, oh my God, really? Yeah, okay. So, Mr. Tom and Mr. Lockie were both basically saying to me, you can't trust the system, you can't trust the sheriffs. You're going to have to plead guilty to something. So, yeah, that's where we are. And having done the social worker report, the mental health evaluation and dog training thing, all ordered by the courts, and we shall see. Let somebody go in, let's see if the right sheriff is there, and we'll see if she will deal with it. Let's see if God does anything, because well, as I say, before I did the plea hearing, God was utterly and completely telling me that you're not guilty of this. So, therefore, is that going to be something that God is going to do at the end of this? I don't honestly know. But very, very soon we will find out. So, yeah. No, look, put it this way. I mean, from my point of view, I've said to God all the way along that if I actually am guilty, then I should be banned from having dogs. I shouldn't be not banned because it doesn't make sense. And I fully would accept that if that was the case, yes. If I was guilty. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a pain in the butt situation. The fact it's dragged on as long as it is. And that's why I've said recently, I'd need to see the full picture for me to be able to understand why God has wanted it to go in the way it has. Because it doesn't make sense to me at all. Well, because, as I say, if God wants to speak to the person dealing with it, God can do that. So, yeah. In the end, the reality is, it is what it is. Time will tell. Right, you take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.